Hello, how are you? I hope you are doing good. So, for today, we are going to continue our discussions with USNCO questions, especially for questions number 26 until 32. So, for those of you who haven't got the question, you can go to my blog here and download the question there. But if you don't want to download, it's still okay anyway because the question will be shown. So what you need to do is just to press the pause button so that you can read the question or try to understand the question, or maybe you can try to think or to solve the question first by your own. Well, and then you can check whether you get it correct or not. Well, anyhow, let's start our discussion with question number 26. Well, here's the question. When the rate of reversible reaction A plus B becomes C is studied under certain sets of conditions, it is found that the rate of the forward reaction is given by this. So what can be concluded about the rate law for the reverse reaction under the same conditions? Well, so first, I'm pretty sure you already understand about the equilibrium reaction. For equilibrium reaction, the equilibrium constant is given by this. So concentration of C, concentration of A, concentration of B. So here are the concentrations at the point of the equilibrium. And then at the equilibrium itself, the rate of reaction between forward and reverse reaction should have the same value. Well, mathematically we can write them as this. So R1 equals R2. So rate of forward reaction equals to the rate of reverse reaction. And then it is stated that the rate of forward reaction is given by this correlation. So K times concentration of A. And then we need to derive the rate of the reverse reaction. Well, next is, we need to rearrange the subject of formula here. So if we have the equilibrium constant as the function of the others, then we can express the concentration of A as the other variables, of course. So we can get this new expression, and then we can next replace this or substitute this with this. So by substituting the concentration of A, well, this is what we get. So Kf over K multiplied by concentration of C and then over concentration of B. And then Kf and Kc here are both constant, so a division between two constants or coefficients will produce another new coefficient. This makes the answer becomes B. So the answer is B. Well, that's for question 26. So let's proceed to question number 27. A substance A decomposes irreversibly to form B. And then a plot of ln A against a function of time until 97% consumed is straight line with a negative slope. So first we need to identify the keyword. Well, these are the keywords: straight line with a negative slope, and then the linear function is ln A. A is the concentration against the function of time. Okay, next we need to analyze. For reaction A becomes B, the rate of reaction is given by this correlation. So here we can put the same variable to the same place. This is what we get, and then this is differential expression, so we need to do some integration. So we do integration like this, and this is what we get by doing integration. This is the A0 is the initial concentration of A. Well, basically we can apply this if n doesn't equal to 1. The problem is what happens if n equals 1. If n equals 1, then this will become a logarithmic equation. So it becomes like this. Well, A0 basically is a constant, and then it has minus sign, so we can move it to the other side. So it becomes like this. Okay, I hope you don't have any problem with following this. And then well, as stated in the question, this is what's that? The logarithmic function with negative slope as a function of time. Yeah, so yeah, m less than 0 means that the gradient is less than 0 or negative gradient, so the answer is B. Well, next, continue to question 28. Which statement about catalysis is correct? So first, if a catalysis increases the forward rate of reaction by a factor of 2, then it must increase the rate of reverse reaction by a factor of 2. This statement is correct because well, basically what catalysts do is, well, it just makes a bond with specific species. So that means if the forward reaction is multiplied by a factor of 2, then it should do the same with the reverse reaction. That's the theory. And then question B, if a catalyst increases the rate of formation of product by factor of 2, then the formation of the mirror image of the product by a factor of 2. Mirror image of the product, for example, maybe like glucose, maybe. Yeah, but catalyst is very specific because it makes a chemical bond with a specific species. So specific species here refers to the arrangement of the molecule as well. So mirror image and the original product are considered two different species here. So it means that statement B is wrong. So continue to statement C. A catalyst must be in the same phase as the reactants and the products of the reaction. Well, this is not true because catalyst doesn't have to be in the same phase of either the reactants and the products. So one classic example is in the process of ammonia production. So in the process of ammonia production from nitrogen and hydrogen, the catalyst used is in the what's that, solid phase. So this is incorrect. And then question D, a catalyst reaction must proceed by the same mechanism as, okay, this is also wrong, because when catalyst makes a chemical bond with the certain specific species, then for sure it will alter or change the way they react. So we can say that statement D is also wrong, which means that the correct answer is A. Alright, let's continue with question number 29. The isotope radium-226 has half-life of 1600 years. How long will it take to decrease by 25%? Let's see. So the kinetic expression of radioactive decay is similar with first order chemical reaction actually. We are going to take the correlation that has already been written in question number 27. So here's the expression, and then by applying this expression, it is stated that the half-life is 1600 years. So when t equals 1600 years, it means that A is equal to half A0. So A is well, we can say radioactivity probably. So by using the correlation and then replacing the value of A with half of A0, so we can get this, and then by applying the logarithmic identity, so multiplication becomes addition, which means that ln half times A0 becomes ln half plus ln A0, and then subtract by ln A0, so they will cancel out each other. Finally we can get this, and then ln half is basically ln 1 minus ln 2, or we can directly say ln 2, since ln 1 is 0. So this means that the negative signs will cancel out each other, and then if we need to find k, then we can bring this to the other side, so the expression or the correlation will becomes like this. So k equals ln 2 divided by 1600. So well, we can find the k value. Okay, next is to find the time. So the time required to make 25% decaying. So this means that A equals 3/4 of A0. Okay, we are going to use the same correlation here, but this time we replace this with this. So ln 3/4 times A0 minus ln A0 equals minus k times t. So this will cancel out each other, leaving just ln 3/4, which is equal to minus k times t. And then next is we can replace K with ln 2 over 1600 that we have found before. So by replacing that, we can get this. And then if we want to find the time, that means that well, the time is 1600 years, so we have to move this from the right side to the left side. So this means that the division will becomes multiplication, and then here's will becomes division or denominator, and then this will becomes, well, it will stay there. And then please be aware that this value is less than 0, or it has negative value. So we can write this as minus ln 4 over 3, and then minus and minus will cancel out each other, so this should be easier to calculate. We can just use calculator to evaluate the value of ln 4/3 divided by ln 2, which its value is 0.415, and then if we multiply them, we'll get t approximately equal to 660 years. Well, that's for question number 29. Okay, so the answer is A. So let's continue to question number 30. The oxidation of sulfate ion by 3-iodide is proposed to take place by that mechanism. So what rate law is predicted by this mechanism? So using the Slows reaction, which is the second reaction, or reaction number 2, we can say that the rate of reaction is equal to K2 times the concentration of sulfate ion multiplied by the concentration of iodine. And then take a look at the equilibrium reaction, or the first reaction. So this is what we get. And then during equilibrium, the rate of reaction between forward and reverse reaction are the same. So which means that K1, this is the forward reaction, times I3 minus is equals to the rate of the reverse reaction. And then if we need to express the constant, the equilibrium constant, then we can write them like this. So this means that if we want to express the concentration of iodine, then we can write it like this. So concentration of iodine is equal to the equilibrium constant times I3 minus divided by the concentration of iodide ion. And then if we substitute this to the previous correlation that we have got, this is I2. I2 is replaced by this, so this is what we get. So K2 times K1 times SO3 concentration of sulfate ion times I3 minus, and then divided by concentration of I minus, which means that the answer is C. Okay, now let's continue with question number 31. What is the correct equilibrium expression for the given reaction? If we take a look on this is solid, so copper 2 hydroxide will be excluded from the equilibrium. Okay, so there's no problem with that. And then let's see the hydroxide, the coefficient is 2, so the possible answer is either C or D, but D doesn't seem right. Well, it seems that we just find the answer directly, so the answer is C. Well, here in H3, so the concentration to the power of 4, and then, well, that's how we found the equilibrium expression. Okay, next continue to question number 32. Last question. So the mole of the weak acid is 0.1 mole, and then the volume is 1 liter, so that makes the concentration becomes 0.1 molar. And then to find the concentration of H+, we can just apply this correlation, and then root of what's this Ka, and then multiply by the concentration of the acid. So the acid constant is this, and then this is the concentration of the acid, which means that the concentration of H+ ions will be equal to the root of 6.6 times 10 to the power of minus 5. Okay, if we use calculator, this is what we get. And then let's see the option one by one. Okay, from option B, we can tell directly that this is not correct. And then option D is also wrong. And then option A is also wrong, because, well, as you can see, the concentration of H+ is less than HF. And then option C, F- and H+ are actually they have the same value for their concentration. So while the concentration of the acid itself is 0.1, which is pretty big, so we can say that this statement is correct. So for number 32, the answer is C. Okay, so that's for today. So thank you for watching. See you again in the next video. Thank you.